Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to Michael in the Morning. Today is Sunday, October 4th, 2020, and this is your second stimulus check and second stimulus package. We have very exciting news to go over from President Trump on the second stimulus package in this video. In today's video, we're first going to go over how U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Friday, after Trump tested positive for the virus, that negotiations with the White House ahead and that Trump's diagnosis might change the tenor of the talks. And they actually did. So we're going to go over exactly what President Trump said about the second stimulus package, and great news here. Then we're going to go over how, on top of more support from the president to pass another stimulus bill, an unexpectedly weak September jobs report, along with tens of thousands of newly announced layoffs and furloughs this week from airlines and restaurants, they have added to concerns that the boost from previous rounds of stimulus is fading. Moving on, we're going to go over how the Democratic-held House left for the month for an October recess on Friday, but how they could return to pass legislation this week or at any time if Pelosi and Mnuchin can craft an agreement. And finally, ultimately right now, Pelosi and Mnuchin have agreed to continue talks and said that they want to come to an agreement before the election, and how there's a lot of optimism that a deal can be passed before the election. We're gonna go over all of this and more, but before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know about my other channel. One is more about stocks and investing, more in-depth videos on those, and the other one is just a fun reaction video where we go over top brands like Allbirds, Supreme, Yeti, and how these businesses were started. So I'll link those down below. I'll also put cards on the top of the screen right now so you can subscribe to those and check them out if you're interested. Also, don't forget, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and $20 when you download the M1 Finance app as well. So, U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on Friday, after Trump tested positive for the virus, that negotiations with the White House will press ahead and that Trump's diagnosis might change the tenor of talks, and they actually did. Because Saturday afternoon, President Donald Trump pressured Congress to pass a virus stimulus plan as his administration and congressional Democrats struggled to forge a relief deal. In a tweet sent as the president receives treatment for the virus at Walter Reed Medical Center, the president wrote, "Our great USA wants and needs stimulus. Work together and get it done. Thank you." Republicans and Democrats have failed to inject new money into the U.S. economy and healthcare system for months as the GOP worries about runaway spending and Democrats push for a sweeping relief package. So President Trump coming out and saying that they need to get a deal done, especially when he just recently tested for the virus, could very well help us get a second stimulus bill even sooner. The sustained pressure from the president could make some Republicans who were a little wary to pass a bill more comfortable to embrace a large price tag for the second stimulus bill. On Friday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Trump's diagnosis changes the dynamic completely in the talks for a second stimulus package because it might show Republicans and the GOP Senate that this is a vicious virus. In writing to her caucus on Friday, the California Democrat wrote that she hoped the sides could strike a deal before the election despite significant disagreement in a couple of key areas. She added that we will continue to work on the text to move forward and facilitate an agreement on the second stimulus bill, and they hope to get out $1,200 stimulus checks and enhanced unemployment benefits to millions of Americans soon. On top of more support from the president to pass another relief bill, an unexpectedly weak September jobs report, along with tens of thousands of newly announced layoffs and furloughs this week from airlines and restaurants, have added to concerns that the boost from previous rounds of stimulus funding is fading away. The Labor Department reported Friday that non-farm payrolls increased by 661,000 in September, held back by declines in government employment and an exodus of workers from the labor force. In normal times, that type of hiring pace would be absolutely great. But as it stood, the total increase in jobs was a fairly wide miss from Wall Street's expectation of 800,000 jobs being added to the U.S. economy. Trump's push for a stimulus package comes as the pace of the economic recovery wobbles and evidence mounts that there is a lot of permanent job loss from the pandemic. American Airlines and United Airlines announced earlier this week that they would have to furlough as many as 32,000 workers, and the restaurant industry has become significantly more worried that there will be a wave of permanent small business closures in the winter without additional federal aid. Next up is the Democratic-led House left for the month of October this past Friday, but could return as soon as possible to pass legislation if Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin can craft an agreement on the second stimulus package. In addition, the full Senate will not convene until October 19th, after 3 GOP senators, 2 of whom attended last week's White House event announcing the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court, tested positive for the virus. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell tweeted on Saturday afternoon that he had talked with the president about several topics, including the Supreme Court, strengthening the economy, and more stimulus. In the tweet, he said, "Just had another great call with the President of the United States. He sounds well and he says he's feeling good. We talked about the people's businesses, fighting the pandemic, confirming Judge Barrett, and strengthening the economy for American families. Let's keep our President and First Lady in our prayers." And finally, ultimately right now, Pelosi and Mnuchin have revived bipartisan talks earlier this week and expressed optimism that an agreement could and will be reached and passed before the election. And great news here is that White House officials have in recent days privately expressed that there's a lot of confidence that there will be at least an outline of the second stimulus bill agreement by the middle of next week, according to an anonymous source at the White House. So now, with the president's positive diagnosis and his tweet urging lawmakers to get more money passed, this will only help the prospects of us getting a second stimulus package even sooner than what Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin have announced, and hopefully before the election. So anyways, that is just a quick update on what is going on with the second stimulus check and second stimulus package as of Sunday, October 4th, 2020. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and get $20 when you download the M1 Finance app as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.